Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different and creating a planet village. And my goal for this build is to make 8-ish with a few bonus builds, tiny homes, where each home is based on a different planet. So I did go through and do some rough landscaping. Our little sim is right here. We'll have to move her. But I laid out sort of 8 different areas for all of our planet houses. I tried not to do too much. However, I know we have a lot to get through, so I wanted to make sure we had a good starting point. And for terrain paint, we don't have anything too like space-y, but I'm thinking this like quarry gray from Eco Lifestyle might be the move. And I think we'll just do everything in that and then paint in from there. Although actually, I feel like this Granite Falls mountain cover is a little bit more space looking. And right now we're building in El Salvarada. And I feel like at night you can see more of like the planet vision. And I think we're going to go in and do all of our terrain paint first. So this little section is going to be for Earth. I tried to do some hanging plants there. And I want this to be the most like green, luscious Earth we can do. I really like this outdoor retreat one. And then we'll go next door and do Mars, trying to find like a red sand maybe. Like we have this again from outdoor retreat. Pack's really coming in clutch right now. But trying to find a place to build was ridiculous because I knew we needed a 64 by 64 lot, which one we already don't have many of in The Sims. And I wanted to build in Sixum, the alien world, but we only have one lot there and it's 20 by 20. And then back here for Neptune, it's hard because I want to do like a blue, right? But they don't really have that. So I think even though Neptune is one of like the gaseous planets, we are going to do this like dark rock. And maybe we do like a similar kind of rock for Uranus. Over here, I want Saturn. And for Saturn and Jupiter, I do want more of like a sand. Maybe this salted earth. And it kind of blends right into the sand landscaping below. And pretty much everything is just in a basement and then raised up, which is part of why I wanted to do it off camera because it is exhausting. And then over here is Mercury. And Mercury is like gray and rocky. I might do this like river rock. Ooh, or actually let's do the gravel and grit. Yeah, let's do this. All right, and then we'll go in here for Venus. And I like this really yellow rock. All right, so I'll go through and keep smoothing. Okay, so now all of our terrain is kind of smoothed out. So first let's start with Mercury. I think I'm just going to do shells and we can figure out what we want to do with them later. These are not going to be very big homes. Like for Mercury, maybe we'll just do this, add a little bump out here, and we'll call that good. For roofing, we'll do a hipped roof here. We'll maybe add a gabled roof there. I don't hate how that looks. And then maybe one more gabled roof here. And I wonder actually if we can even get one more bump out here. Okay, final roofing for our Mercury house. I made them all gabled roofs actually. So then I want to go through and do gray, and I don't want to be like too literal and just do stone, although I do really like this one. I might maybe do our bump outs in this stone from Get Famous, but I think then otherwise we can just use like a traditional gray. And then unfortunately for this house, I feel like we also go gray on the roof, not like a ton happening here. Here is the thing about Mercury, right? Is there are pictures of it all lit up with like blue and yellow. So I kind of want to make those our accent colors. And I sort of like this like art deco-y vibe for Mercury. And I don't hate this Strangerville window because like it is yellow, but it's like the muted kind of yellow. And then use even more of like the little Strangerville ones. I do think maybe we could add some of this freeze, just make it look a little bit nicer. But then for wall sculptures and stuff, here's where I want to get a little bit more colorful to represent the way Mercury kind of looks lit up at times. I might take these stone columns and put them in. I like some of these orb lights. I feel like we could put a few of those around. Okay, and then I added these wall sconces that have like blue fire. I think that's really, really pretty just coming up on those front windows there. But then what I want to do is make some of these like different colors. And we are going to just set all of these really different. So then it kind of looks like how Mercury looks in those pictures where it's all lit up at night. All right, so then at night, our lights kind of look like this. And then I want to go to get to work, debug, and hopefully find some cool landscaping and implement it that way. We could do like the mushroom patches as our grass out here and then be growing some of these. And we're probably going to see a lot of similar landscaping just because we have so few items in this like otherworldly aesthetic. So then in live mode, this will be the final exterior of our Mercury home. It's pretty plain, which is how I wanted it to be. I think the goal is to get like a little bit more complex as they go on. But overall, I think it looks nice. And so with our Mercury home done, we can move over to Venus. And again, let's just start throwing shapes together. I maybe want this house to be a little bit more like modern looking, maybe like this. And we'll also raise this up on just like the slightest foundation. And for roofing, I say we just platform roof, honestly. And Venus is this beautiful like orangey brown color. So I think I'm going to go orange first. And then if we have to go down into brown, we can. I almost want to go this like really pretty stucco orange. And I like that it has the brown at the bottom. And then I think it would be cool actually because Venus is like the love planet and things like that to do like this iron fence on top and have that kind of be our roof. All right, and then with this, I think I want to take some stairs and stick with that orange theme. I was sort of thinking maybe these love struck ones and have them go around the back like this. For windows, I think we continue to go pretty modern. Like I do really like these eco lifestyle ones. I kind of like that. I maybe want to do like an awning. Like maybe one like that I think is kind of nice looking. Actually, let's do that one. All right, so now that we've got a little loose exterior here, I want to add some lighting. Maybe we'll just put these little lamps on the side of it. And then for landscaping, like, yes, I do want to still carry over some of the alien landscaping. However, being that Venus is like really hot, I think it could be cool to put like some dead, like scorched landscaping around. So maybe like the dead mesquite tree. And I wish we were doing vegetation because I feel like this would be so pretty like up on the awning. And we have like some of this dead vegetation we could put in from debug. Okay, so I went in and finished the last little bit of landscaping and changed the stairs. I actually did get it to work with the terrain here. And then because Venus is the hottest planet, I did put a little rooftop pool up here and then just decorated it on the inside to be a little bit more space themed. And then in the dark, I sized down an aquarium and fully stocked it with fish. So then there's little fish swimming around in here. We've got like the moving alien plants. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks, even though there's this weird steam. I also added one of these to each front yard to just represent both planets. And then also I found a space for this mother plant. I think it looks cool there. So now we'll come in and build our Earth home. I also, unfortunately, because of where it is, want to build on a diagonal here. Because I do think with a diagonal room here, we're going to get just a little bit more surface area. And then everything's like facing inwards, which is cool. So maybe this will be our loose little shell. We could do a white roof just to brighten it up a little bit. Also, hang on, the more I am looking at this, the more I feel like we should have just built it on a straightaway. Okay, here's our new non-diagonal Earth shell, and we have so much more room. And we're still going to do this like weird fluorescent blue other than on our greenhouse. Again, we will be raising everything up on a little foundation. Okay, actually this looks fine. We can get our white roofing going again. I think maybe the paint is too weird. Like we could just do a blue like that. We'll get some stairs. I maybe like these big windows with shutters. And then I want to put as many like plants and flower boxes and things on here as we possibly can. Like we can put these little flower boxes all on the front. I think this romantic garden plant is really pretty. We can get our lighting. I do think it would be kind of funny to do like a street lamp back here. And then we can do some normal landscaping. We can do a tree back here. All right, then I'm going to take some bushes and flowers. Like, I think that's really pretty there. And we could do just a little fountain right out here in front, because I feel like all the other ones are going to be too big. Well, this one's not too big, and I think it's a little prettier. All right, and so then all lit up at night, there is another look at our earth home. I tried to alternate our green and blue lights there, and we'll get lights in our greenhouse, so eventually this side will be lit up too. So then over here we'll make our Mars home, and my Sims need to get out of the way. Okay, and I feel like Venus, I kind of want Mars to be a more modern looking shell. So I think we just go crazy with our squares here. Okay, so here will be kind of our loose shell for our Mars house. And Mars is the red planet, so we are just going as red as possible on here. Our roofing is going to be a platform. Like, I feel like this looks good. And maybe do a top like this, but we won't have it be accessible like at our Venus house. Let's get our red wallpaper. What if we made the whole house this lava rock that was in the foundation? And this can be kind of the exterior of our Mars home. I think this one looks really cool, actually. Let's get a door, maybe a black one, and then we can go from there. And then if we have a black stair railing, maybe it won't look as weird. For windows, I don't want them to be anything too fancy or modern, given that we have a building made of rock. I don't maybe hate some of these from Werewolves. I love this one that's just brick, like, cut out. And we are for sure landscaping with a bunch of these Strangerville rocks. And this landscaping trick, if y'all do not know about it, is like a lifesaver, because then you can get it exactly where you want it. However, it is so tedious. We are going to go in and use more of this type of landscaping for Mars, the red for sure, and another one where we'll probably use this red, like, alien plant as grass. We can put our Mars light here, and maybe for Mars it could be cool to get some like candles out here. All right, so then we have our finished little Mars house here, and then all lit up at night. I think it's sick. I like the little twisties. I like the way the flowers look. And so then we can move on over here to Neptune. I saved this like grass, and I know Neptune is like a weird jump from these like rockier planets, but I wanted to do like Saturn and Jupiter here, and then group Neptune and Uranus back here. Uranus, whatever. And we don't have a ton of area here. You know what? This one, I feel like we could make on a diagonal. I said that before, but I mean it this time. We could maybe do something like this for Neptune. And since it's not a ton of surface area, maybe have it come back a little bit. It could be cute to do like a little octagonal room, maybe. Like, that's kind of pretty. Okay, like maybe something like this for our Neptune shell, and we make it a little fancier. We could do like an octagonal roof piece, like maybe like this. We could do a big gabled roof back here, and then we could do like a smaller little gabled roof piece here. Okay, yeah, I think that looks really nice. And for Neptune, we want everything to be blue.
Got some blue going on.
Part of me likes the metal blue because it's a little bit more icy, although Uranus is the ice planet, so maybe we'll do it like that. For roof trim, because of like the water, I think it could be pretty to do this type of roof trim. Again, we'll go blue wall here. Maybe actually Neptune is where we use the spa day wallpaper. For whatever reason, I feel like it isn't as jarring here as it was on our Earth home. Okay, and what if we use this fence to create like a little porch, and then we can get a column, maybe like that to hold it up? Let's go in and get a blue door. I kind of like this pretty like clear spa day one. For windows, I think we do like some really big open concept ones. I really like these spa day ones, especially because they have that like blue tint to them. Okay, so we have got crazy amounts of windows going on right now, but I still feel like it's giving Neptune. Obviously, we'll do as much of this grass as we can to sort of be a cover. And then I'm also going to add a lot of the same blue decor as before. I also really like these blue debug alien like flowers. We can get our blue orb light out here. As far as lighting, I think this planet light is pretty because it kind of looks like Neptune. All right, and so with all of our lights and everything, they're not uber bright, but here is our final Neptune home. I think it's pretty. I do really like the look of the tentacle tree here in the back and kind of the blue orb out front. And so with Neptune done, we can move right here next door to Uranus or Uranus. So for Uranus, I do unfortunately want to do rounded rooms. I think maybe if we do 2 circles like this, that's kind of pretty. Okay, so we can do maybe like this for our entrance. And then I think maybe we just wall it back here. Because of the rounded rooms, I don't want to do anything too funky. And then maybe to make it a little bit more interesting, we can add like a little bump out here. And then for roofing, I think we go rounded roofs here. And then maybe we just do like a traditional gabled here, fairly simple. And then I want like a bluish green. Like I like this metal color, especially because it does sort of look like ice. And I saw somewhere that Uranus is like the ice planet. And then let's get a door. We could honestly go white for our accents here. Okay, wait, why do I not hate that one? White windows, and if we want something that supports a curved wall, our options are kind of limited. And then what if we actually did a little balcony here? So we could do like this and then make this like a door instead. That's pretty. And then we are going to come get a crystal tree from the gallery. And this is always my pro tip to people who want like the cool plants in their build but don't want to make them, because I never want to try to figure out how to like grow a crystal tree, and I'll just make it huge. If you look on the gallery, I would say usually there is somebody who has made a room with the plant that you're looking for. For other landscaping here, again, I think we stay pretty consistent with what we were doing before. We can put like a huge field of these back here, and then I think too just like a little bit more snow. All right, so we've got lots of snow coming out behind Uranus. And then let's get our lighting. We obviously want our little orb light here. Sticking with the crystal theme, we could maybe do this like marker shard as lighting. All right, so all lit up and everything at night. Here is our Uranus house. And I actually think this one might be my favorite so far. I think the big crystal tree in the back is so pretty. And yeah, so now with that home done, we can move over here to Saturn. Okay, let's actually make this Jupiter, because I think we can get a really big room here. Okay, so I think something like this for our shell is pretty. I tried to make it a little bit like funkier looking, and then we have our little door in there. I maybe want to raise it up just on an even taller foundation, since Jupiter is like such a big planet. Let's get a roof going. I don't exactly know how we're going to roof this. Roofing is my nemesis, but I think if we cover it with maybe like a hipped roof here, and we can just copy and paste it. We can do a little 1-tile gabled roof there. All right, so now we have our little Jupiter house roofed. And Jupiter is like that yellowish, beige-ish color. I'm thinking this like My Wedding Stories paint. But then Jupiter also has that big orange like storm spot. So you know we're going to go spa day on this. And I think, as weird as it might look, we just make this entryway like the color of the storm. So we've got that like dot there. For the roof, I feel like we can just go with this slab, although I wish it was a little bit more yellow. All right, windows here. I almost want to go Love Struck and just put these ones where I can, at least on this first floor. So I think that's looking cute. Let's see what kind of wall sculptures we want to put out there. I'm kind of feeling this Jungle Adventure trim for whatever reason. We can add these orange lights on our storm. All right, so then all lit up, it looks like this. We've got some yellow orange lights, but we can go in and start doing some landscaping. So first and foremost, I will be sizing up some of these crystals. Like I think back there is kind of cool peeking out. I feel like this mother plant tendril is kind of giving Jupiter. We've got this big rock that I feel like we can size up and put on both sides here coming in. This is another one where I think we use the red plant as kind of our grass. And then obviously we are going to use our same little My Wedding Stories orb lamp here. All right, and then I think that's going to be our Jupiter home. I love the big crystals and the tree in the back and the giant red spot. I think that's cool, and it definitely looks a lot bigger than the rest of our houses. Our little rock planets over here are so tiny. So then we'll come over here and build for Saturn. I still want our Saturn house to be relatively big, although not as big as our Jupiter Jupiter home for sure. So let's maybe do this, and then we can do a bit of a second floor. We'll raise it up on a foundation, and then let's do a gabled roof here and maybe make it pretty tall, and then do a bigger gabled roof here. We can maybe do a half gabled roof here, and honestly, maybe we can do like a funky roof like this. All right, and then with our funky little Saturn shell done, Saturn's like a yellowy brown. Maybe we do something like that. I don't hate maybe this Love Struck wallpaper for Saturn, and we could maybe do this little like accent piece here. And then what I want to do, if we can, and I don't know how well this will work, is take one of these marble rings and put it around Saturn. Like, I think that looks super cool, actually. And then I was also thinking of adding this chalk circle from Paranormal to give it even more of that like ring. And then that way in live mode, it looks like that. And then the time of day kind of affects what the rings look like. So let's do that. I think that's pretty. And what if we go more like horse ranch with these windows? All right, so now we've got this with our little horse ranch windows on there. And then with the rings and everything, we should be able to start landscaping in a different color than Jupiter, but I still like the idea of the big crystal. We can stick like one of these bushes here. I think we can get our orb light out here. All right, and then here is our final exterior for our Saturn home. I love the rings around it. I think that's so fun. And then really quickly in here, I'm just going to build a little sun and moon looking like townhouse. And literally, it's going to be absolutely nothing fancy. It's going to look like this. We are going to just platform roof it, honestly. We'll make this our sun side, this our moon side. I feel like this sunset wallpaper for the sun side is really pretty. And then maybe we do the same over here for the moon. I feel like we just do standard doors, like maybe these from Eco Lifestyle. For windows, I do really love these Love Struck ones. We will do the same windows here on the moon side, but in that gray swatch. And on the roof of this, I think I'm going to put a sized up werewolves lamp. And then in live mode, it kind of spins around like that. And so that'll probably be it for those until I go in and do final landscaping. And then right here, I don't know exactly what we're going to put here because it's very like nothing. But I did want to make a little area for Pluto because like Pluto deserves its own moment too, you know? Like maybe this will just be like Pluto public bathroom or something. We'll do the most simple gabled roof. And for Pluto, I think we go absolutely basic gray. We can put like black rock back here for a little landscaping. And honestly, yeah, let's do like a little Pluto public bathroom. Okay. Super cute. So then honestly, we are primarily pretty done with this village. I don't want to go crazy on the landscaping because I want it to still look like sort of barren planetscape, but I will go off camera and add a few last minute like trees and alien plants and things like that. All right, and all landscaped up, here is what our planet village is looking like right now. It's a little busy, but I actually really like it. I added some of those debug UFOs flying around, as well as a few more tentacle trees, a few more of those red shrubs. And honestly, I just think the entire vibe of this place is super cool. I think we really nailed the space theme here. It must be really hot out because everyone's gathered in our tiny Venus pool. And that's going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, feel free to like or comment and subscribe for more videos like this or to watch my next video where we furnish the interiors of all of our planet homes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.